Mojang just announced Minecraft's new biome, and I think it has a lot of potential. They added new poplar trees, colored leaves, new bushes, and a light gray wood type. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of ways it can be improved. Like, I'm not sure what's going on with this tent here. So today, my mod team coded our dream version of this biome into the game. We actually split it into two different biomes, a maple forest and an alpine forest, each with its own set of features. And I'm going to walk through all those feature ideas, and hopefully Mojang sees this and actually adds some of these ideas to the game, because I think it would improve this biome so much. My first problem with the biome was the grass color. I don't know how I feel about having orange grass, to be honest. What I'd much rather see is something like this, yellowish dead looking grass. I think this is a really good fall type color for this kind of biome, which contrasts well with the red leaves. And then I've seen a lot of people suggesting some sort of red moss. So we added this reindeer moss here, which kind of goes under all of the trees. It could either look like moss or it could look like fallen leaves, honestly. However you look at it, I think it makes the biome look so much better. We even added some moss carpets for it. And just like how the pale garden has that gray moss, I think having a red moss here would be super cool. My next idea is for the ground cover here. Of course, it makes sense for pumpkins to generate in this type of biome, and I also think having a flower type here would be cool. I picked the blue orchid because it contrasts great with the red, and also these flowers are so rare, it'd be nice to have another place to find them in. Also, I'm sure Minecraft's gonna do this, but we definitely need some sort of fallen leaf. They'll probably just use their brown fallen leaves, but I think it'd be cool to have a red fallen leaf to match with the trees, obviously. And I don't think anyone would complain about a new fallen leaf type. Next up, we have this bracket fungus here. Some YouTubers leaked this picture of the bracket fungus Minecraft was adding. I think it looks fine. I do like how we've implemented it better though. I think it's cooler like this, where you just place it and it just surrounds it with the texture. Instead of having that big slab, it's just kind of poking out like this. Alternatively, you can just place it on the ground like this. I feel like this is much more of a useful block than the thing they're planning on adding, but it's still cool. Now for the wood set. Mojang is adding a light gray wood, which is nice. However, since we're eventually going to release this as part of our biomes mod, I wanted to do something unique, so this could still be a separate biome. And I chose to go for this like tan color. And this log, which I think looks way better than the current log that they're showing us. I think the current log they're showing us looks terrible. I'm sure they'll change it though. And then we also have a real nice looking trapdoor and door. Very cozy looking. My favorite part about this wood color is how well it blends together birch and oak to make this super cool gradient. Extremely smooth. It makes me really wish we actually had this in the game, but I'm also looking forward to the light gray wood. And these leaves are just great. I can't wait to have colored leaves in the vanilla game. And finally, for this first biome, we have turkeys. The texture on these, I think, is just incredible. I love how these turned out. They have their own custom sounds, and when you kill one, it drops raw turkey, which can of course be cooked. The cooked turkey. It only makes sense. Nothing too crazy about these. It's basically a chicken variant, but I think it'd be very cool to see these running around the maple forest, and I think that they should at least add some type of mob. If not this mob, then maybe the next one I show. I also tried my hand at improving the campsite that they made. Just pretend that this quartz is the white wool. I don't have the stairs yet, but I took the basic design. I still kept the cobwebs and the campfire and stuff like that, and I just tried to make it look a little bit nicer. I think the banners go a long way to help it. I don't think they'd actually do this, but it would look so much better. And inside there could be some sort of loot chest, and then maybe like a pottery sherd you could collect as well. That'd be a good way to add some new ones, but at least it's not as much of an eyesore as the current one, I think. Anyways, that's the maple biome. I think it looks super cool from a distance, but it's time to move on to our next one, the alpine biome. The alpine biome spawns at higher elevation. It's supposed to be a more mountainous biome, and it has these yellow pine tree type trees kind of dotted around the area, and a lot of tall ferns and stuff like that. And my first idea for this biome, wildflowers. I kind of don't love current Minecraft flowers, just one little stalk like this. I much more enjoy this like thicker flower that takes up the entire block. They're so much easier to build with. We added two other wildflower colors too, which I think look great. However, these don't spawn in this biome. Those will spawn in the other biomes we make in part 2 of this series. Continuing our way up, you can see that we made these clovers, which are also pretty cool. This is not the only biome they'll spawn in, but I think they fit well here. What also fits well here is having a bunch of boulders. This being a mountainous place, it makes sense. And we even added these pebbles, which can stack. Depending on how many times you click it, it gets bigger and bigger, which is just incredible for detailing. Making like stone paths and stuff like that. That looks sick. I've tried to make this biome super dense with ferns, but coming up here, you can see our new wood type, and we finally have green wood in the game. Green is probably the wood set I want most, maybe blue first, but man, it'd be so nice to have this in the game. It matches super well with the yellow leaves. These leaves look incredible, and I can imagine these looking super cool in like a swamp type build, or being a cool green door on a cabin. I had to test it out, and sure enough, this door looks great in the cabin. Not to mention, these other wood types really do mix well with the other blocks in the game, which I'm happy about. This makes me wonder if Minecraft should have separated each tree color into a separate biome. We could have had 3 different new wood sets, but you know, I'm fine with one. And at least we have all the new leaf colors. But our next addition here is the bear. And these things are super cool. You'll be able to breed them with salmon and get a baby bear. But you can see if we switch to survival, they are super aggressive. Even the baby ones. And they actually do quite a bit of damage. They have a pretty cool animation we designed, which has them kind of leap at you. I think it'd be cool if the bears had some sort of interaction with beehives. Maybe they could harvest the honeycomb for you. That seems very difficult to implement into the game, but it's an idea. And if Mojang devs are watching and currently working on developing a bear, then that's a good idea. But it only makes sense to have this type of mob in a mountainous alpine biome like this. This is a perfect natural habitat for them. And honestly, I think they'd work well in the maple forest as well. So I could see Minecraft adding these to the forest. We'll see. Now I'm going to do something I've never really done before. I want to preview what's going on in part 2 of this series. These 2 biomes are part of our Better Biomes mod that we're working on. And I need help with suggestions for what we should do for our next biomes. This is probably the most fleshed out one. This is our wildflower field. It has all 3 wildflowers. And I think this one is pretty much complete. These butterfly bushes are really cool. They're essentially the equivalent to a firefly bush, except they spawn butterflies instead. Still a bit of a work in progress, but I think these are already really cool. But this is a biome pretty much in its completed state. A biome that's not in its completed state is the oasis that we're working on. This is an extremely rough idea. It's basically going to be some tropical lakes with palm trees. We have all the elements for the palm trees made already. We just need to get them coded into the game. Another biome we're planning is the Purple Heart Forest, which is going to have some purple trees, which is very exciting. Think of it as like a dark oak forest, but with a lot more color with our wildflowers and stuff like that. It's also going to have these speedwell flowers, they're called, which actually give you a little speed boost when you walk over them. So they're kind of cool for making quick paths. And they also just look cool and have this sick particle effect. I mean, just look at this. But that's another big plan for a biome. But I would love to know, what other ideas do you guys have for biomes? Should we add some of the old biome vote biomes like the baobab trees or something like that? I'd like to add at least a couple more if you guys have ideas. And what mobs should we put in each biome? I'd like to have a mob in each biome, maybe like deer or something in the wildflower forest or something like that. Anyways, that is all the ideas I have for Minecraft's new biome. I'm looking forward to the update. Hopefully they'll implement some of these ideas or come up with some of their own. And if you want to see us continue to develop this biomes mod, be sure to subscribe. And if you want to download our mods, check out the description below for our mod page. You can see our first mod, the Missing Blocks mod, and if you like this mod, you will probably like that one. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.